Thank you very much, Kenny. Thank you for inviting me. Kenny wanted someone that was successful and energetic, but he asked me anyway. James, congratulations to you. The 36 on the ACT. I think I made it 36 one time, but it was on a 200-point test, just something like that. Very, very thankful for what's going on in around our area now. The Saints are just having a great year. Congratulations to the Saints and what they bring to the community and everything else, and just goes to show you how resilient you are. You know, as coaches, we talk about a good football team is when someone's missing and no one knows the difference, and that's what they've actually proven over the last 5 or 6 games. Also, congratulations to LSU. I mean, for what they're doing right now. I had an opportunity. Coach Stewart and I both worked a training camp together, and Boro was there, just a class act, and I don't know, coached against him from the other sideline for a number of years. He might be the best quarterback I've ever seen LSU have. I think he's tremendous and fearless and stuff like that. Also, Coach Willie Fritz at Tulane. I've been to his practices. They're very. They're going to win a lot of football games there because they're so organized and things like that. So it's really good. It's an environment around that we're in. And you said it, James said it earlier about what this game of football means to this community. And I just hope that can stay strong. I'll touch on that later on. Right now, we're a young football team, and we're still trying to get better. In fact, I don't know if you know it, but my strong safety, in fact, he dropped this on the field yesterday, so I got to make sure I got to give it back to him. He's about 5'5" or something like that. So we've actually had a tough schedule. We've had some guys, we've had some injuries. I think we'll get 1 or 2 of them hopefully back for this ball game, and we can go from there. But it's not all about our program. It's based on just getting organized. I got 2 young coaches, Wayne Stein, my defensive coordinator, that does everything and on defense, and Ty Monica. Wayne is my nephew, and Ty is my son, and he's offense coordinator. They do everything. They cut grass, they paint the field. All I do is I eat Twinkies and I go watch Judge Judy every day, something like that. But they're very good guys. And my staff is small, but they're very mighty. We have a tough challenge. We have some decent players. I don't mind telling you. Mason Ortiz he's a Tulane commit, a defensive tackle. We get him back, and he kind of sets the tempo of the defense. And Evan Russo, we have an offensive lineman that's a commit. And I think I'm probably the best linebacker I've coached since I've been at St. Charles. A kid by the name of Mandel Eugene. He's just a junior, and he runs around the field and plays with a lot of emotion. So coupled in with just a couple of blue collar guys, I think we've been through some tough games so far this year. We've been very lucky in some of those, so hopefully we can continue to do that. But we do have a tough challenge this week. We played a Newman undefeated team. In fact, they scored more points than the Pelicans. They got a very innovative coach. They do a lot of things. They're innovative, and they run all pre-O's in a modern offense. My offense is antique, and like a lot of the kids, they went out with Pat Boone. Now, some of you probably say, "Who knows Pat Boone?" They're like my players. Who's Pat Boone? But so we still a little traditional. It'd be hard to stop them. I don't know if you do. They have a great quarterback, and I think everybody knows that little Arch is fine thrower, makes all the throws. The guy that really, I think it just knocks your socks off is number 1, the Sutherland kid. He's very good. In the past years, we've faced, was it Ronnie Vincent? Coach, Ronnie Vincent you had one year that went to LSU. Then after they had a guy by the name of Beckham there, and they had a guy by the name of Douglas that went to Minnesota. I don't know if this guy right here, Sutherland, is not faster than all of them, because he's got great ball skills and stuff like that. So this game's going to have some significance. Coaches and I are best friends. We have a little wager on the game. He didn't know it yet, but we have a little wager on the game. If I win, he owes me a box of cigars. If he wins, he owes me a box of cigars. So it's just that simple. It's the way the power ranking works out right now with everything. The game has that significance. What it does see, we were talking about this earlier. It really is that whoever wins will probably jump to number 3. Whoever loses goes to 4, or vice versa. But there's not going to be any other movement when it comes to our level as far as the playoffs are concerned. And somebody asked what's going to happen at the end. It looks like Mr. Bourneis decided that we're going to play at our home site. whether it be, it looks like there won't be any venues of any sort, any college venues. So that's as it stands right now, which is fine. I don't know how many of you are old enough and to remember this, and I've been very fortunate to play on a home site in football, and they had one in baseball, and it worked out fine. You make a lot of money. In terms of that, you might not be able to accommodate everybody, but you make an awful lot of money. Some of you guys sitting back at the table, some of you guys are still 29, you guys remember those days. But just to take off what James said, you know, the state of football, and Kenny, thanks for having me. The state of football, I think, is in good hands. The only thing that I worry about are numbers that are dropping around the country, and a lot of it I have to attribute to what's going on out there. My real baseball, my whole background has been baseball. That's how I got here. Went to college, played at Nickel State, and I still love the sport. You know, the World Series going on tonight and everything else. But the travel baseball has really hurt other sports. I'm also the AD, and you can see numbers dwindling because travel baseball during the year, my grandson still played. During the summer, it's fine. But travel baseball in the fall, it takes kids away and it pigeonholes kids, and it costs you a lot of money. You know what I tell them? In football, it's free. When you go travel baseball in the fall and all year long, that's not good for the kid. It's taking them away from basketball, it's taking them out of soccer, it's taking them out of football. And you see more and more of that. And if you go to some of these ballparks during the summer, go to Baton Rouge and Hammond, and you see that it's just loaded. Because every kid's been told that he's going to be the next Derek Jeter. You know what I mean? And they all got 2 bats, and they got 2 bags, and the whole deal. So that's taken a lot away from it. And then the injury thing, the injury that is being promoted about what's happening in football and stuff like that. At our school, we try to promote multiple sport athletes. I think you're a better athlete if you're a basketball player, football player, if you're a baseball guy, track guy. I think you're a better football player because every sport has its own different type of emotion and intensity. And the most important thing, only 2% of all high school kids play college football. So I think it's important when they go to high school that they have the experience all these other sports. And you know, in track you get 18 different events you can join. And I just don't like the state of what's happening when coaches, and not so much the high school coaches, but people on the outside are telling kids, well, I'm going to train you, and you could be the next Derek Jeter. So it's important, but I'd like to see the numbers stay like that. I'd like to see us build up all sports and play as many as we possibly can. But Kenny, thank you for having me. I gotta get back to find a way to make a first down against these guys, and hope but have me back sometime. You know, when the game's not so big, when I'm playing some slappy team. Okay. Thank you very much, guys.